So everyone has different opinions when it comes to the cost of living crisis.
I see a lot of sooking, crying.
So you're coming from a complete position of privilege.
What's the definition of privilege?
There would be people going, yeah, yeah, Nick, give it to him. And there'd be other people that'd be like, shut up, Nick, and be like, fuck yeah, JP. So this is sick.
I want to have a sick car.
What else are you sacrificing? Just beers?
You guys demonize beers, hanging out with your friends on the weekend, that type of stuff.
That's not going to save you.
Is there any hope here?
You have no choice.
We are in a crisis. It has never been more expensive to live, ever. Today, we're going to dive a bit deeper into the cost of living crisis. I'm Tom, and today I'm here with my business partner, JP, and a special guest, Nick. Nick is our content creator and editor. Together, we've built a community of over 1,500 paid members who are taking millions of dollars off the bookies through a technique called match betting. Welcome to your debut, Nick, often behind the camera, today in front of it.
Good to be here.
Nice. Looking forward to diving into some of the topics. So everyone has different opinions when it comes to the cost of living crisis and kind of the time that we're living in right now. That's why we've got you on, provide a bit of a different perspective. Maybe you can even go a little bit of head-to-head with JP on some of the topics, as we often do in the office, and it's never recorded. So just thought you might be able to bring a fresh perspective to today. What's happening at the moment? Are you guys seeing this on your algorithms? Are your friends talking to you about it? Are your family members talking to you about it? Have you seen the news? Do you read the newspapers? Like, what's going on? Have you guys noticed any change? JP, maybe start.
Well, I see a lot of sooking, crying, people complaining that obviously things have gone up. People can't afford shit. Everyone has no money. Talking to the guy at a cafe before, he said the spend per customer has gone down by 30% per head.
Okay, wow.
But generally across the board, it's pretty clear that everyone, when you say everyone, what I mean by everyone is like generally across the board, people have less disposable income because spending's gone up.
What's disposable income?
Well, money that you can spend, that you have left over, I guess. So you got your wage, you've got your expenses, rent, mortgage, whatever, food. I don't know, maybe you can save 10 grand a year normally and now you're saving zero or less than zero. So that's what's happening to a lot of people. And I guess, the way we perceive how we would go about this opportunity or this time may differ in opinion, and that's what we want to discuss.
For sure. What about you, Nick? Have you noticed anything?
Me personally, not really.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's all over the news. It's everywhere, you know. It's literally all a lot of people talk about. Me personally, with my living situation and all that type of stuff, I haven't been fully stung by it. Obviously, groceries are more expensive, petrol's more expensive, that type of stuff, but I'm not on full struggle street or anything like that. Like, I'm still able to live a pretty comfortable life. But with that said, you know, I don't have any kids. My expenses are my rent, my car.
What is your living situation, if you don't mind diving into it a bit more?
So I live in a share house with 3 of my mates.
Yep.
I own a cat.
Nice.
So I spend money on him.
Yep.
And then, my car. And then apart from that, just stuff, really.
But when you say car, like what, petrol?
Yeah, like petrol, then like rego, insurance, that type of stuff.
Insurance definitely has like fully skyrocketed. Like,
has it?
Yeah, like astronomical amounts for
Mine's
no reason
for
at
4
all.
years.
Yeah, that's baffling. You're probably the only person in Australia with that.
No, mine's the same too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just change it.
Funny that you both tried.
Just tweet shit on the.
Maybe that's it.
Well, Hondas.
Yeah.
Just
they don't want to insure them anymore.
Just tweak things like on your insurance policy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like honestly, I think mine went up to like 1,200, and then I tweaked something and it went back to 800 or something.
Yeah. Well, we're going to dive into some like practical things that everyone should be or could be doing later on. But like, I guess so. Off the bat, you guys haven't. From my perspective, I have friends and people in, group chats that are talking about how fucked their mortgage is or how expensive their electricity is or how they got no spare money for certain things, but you guys haven't experienced that.
Well, for me,
in terms like people in your lives haven't shared that with you.
I don't think personally I speak to a lot of people that are my friends or family that are complaining, but I've seen it through social media.
Yep.
I mean, in the DMs, you forward on messages all the time from people who are like, oh, I can't join the Platinum Squad or can't join this, can't do match betting because I don't have any money. And then that's kind of, I'm seeing it in third person. You'll also see it through the community and stuff like that outside, but not speaking to a lot of people personally about it.
Yeah, like I'm pretty much the same. Like I've got one mate that has a mortgage.
Yep.
But he works a lot, makes enough money to cover that, but before I worked here, I used to work with a lot of blokes who had mortgages, multiple kids, that type of stuff. And they would kind of say pretty frequently, like, it is getting tougher and tougher and tougher to essentially have balance in your life where you can still spend time with your kids, still spend time with your wife, but then also make enough money to provide for them so your kid can go play soccer, your daughter can go to dancing, that type of stuff. They were the ones who kind of, I guess, I would be hearing, through third person from them. They'd be the ones telling me, like, this is bad. Yeah. And I'd be there going, I mean, I'm chilling. But they would be there going, like, dude.
Different lives, obviously.
Yeah, different lives, completely different lives. And I think that's the thing is the cost of living crisis, it's affecting everyone, but it's affecting everyone on different levels. So, like me, my life, it's probably not affecting me as much as, people that have multiple kids, you know, houses, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I guess, as you've said, like different lives, right? What I find across the board, and I don't know if you guys think the same, but like what I find across the board is my observation of what's happening is that most people think that the solution to, so the people that are struggling or starting to feel the pinch or are like, fuck, I'm actually going to run out of money if this keeps happening. The initial thought process for them is to, like, it turns into like a scarcity mindset in terms of like, from now on, I can't do this, or from now on, this can't happen for me, or whatever it may be. I can't do this. This can't happen. I need to cut back on this. Yeah. As opposed to maybe I need to start looking to do this, or is there an opportunity for me to do this? Like, it's like a save, or like a cut kind of thought process, as opposed to like all right, what else can I be doing? Like, why is that the case? Why is that the default way of thinking, do you think?
It would just be because people, you hear money struggles, your initial reaction is, I need to spend less. Because if you spend less, then theoretically you have more. So I think that's why a lot of people go in that direction. A lot of people are thinking, well, I'm already working my full-time job. You know, I'm doing kind of what I can with the time that I have. So therefore, you know, the default is, where can I stop spending as much money? Because that's just kind of how people think.
Yeah, I agree.
And it kind of makes sense.
What do you reckon?
Well, you can do that, but you can't, it doesn't have an infinite restriction on the downside, if that makes sense. I'll rephrase. If you are spending, I don't know, 30K a year in expenses, let's just say, that includes, this is, who knows how big this person's house is or whatever. Let's just go renting, 30K, food, rent, bills, 30K a year, right? Maybe probably a bit unders. But let's say he's sharing, maybe like Nick's situation, potentially, right? He can't spend 10K a year. It's impossible.
As in, you can't just keep cutting.
Yeah, unless he goes homeless and he doesn't pay rent.
Yeah.
Right? So you have a limit to how much you can save, but you don't have a limit to how much you can make. So make more, and that gap's going to get bigger. That's my perception of it. It's like, because right now, it's like, honestly, I sit here and I couldn't tell you how much things have gone up, like, because I don't give a fuck. Like, that sounds pretty, I don't know, brutal, but like, I don't actually know, because I think I've beaten it by making more than I was at a greater rate compared to the inflation rate. So I've gone up in income. So then I don't care about the fact that things have gone up as much. So I couldn't tell you how much I'm spending, because I'm beating it by making more. Yeah,
but what if I said the reason why you're in that situation is because you already have financial freedom? And you are one of, you worked hard to get there.
That's
and
correct.
Like, kudos to you. You've done all that, and no one can take that away from you. You put in the time and effort to make that money. But there are so many people that don't have that.
No, that's fully spot on.
So you're coming from a complete position of privilege, whereas there are a lot of people who have, you know, a lot of expenses that they're not in the same situation as you.
That's 100% spot on. So what I would say to that is, how did I get there? They can do the same thing. Like, I had $2,000 at age 22.
Yeah, but at age 22, do you have kids? Do you have a house? Do you have any expenses?
No.
Exactly.
But I had expenses. But the same principle, even if I had kids or not, I had an opportunity to learn how to make money, and I chose to learn how to make money. If I had kids or not kids, maybe I would have chosen to I wouldn't have had the opportunity as much to make those amounts of money, but I still would have chosen to learn new things. Like, whether you put me in a fucking, I don't want to say bad shit, but like, you put me in anywhere, I will now know how to make money because I learned how to make money. Once you know how to make money, you can go anywhere. You can take someone's money away from them. Learn skills. If you learn skills, you can make more money. And a lot of people are just sitting there thinking, like Tom said, like, oh, I got to save. But like, that's not going to save you. That's just going to make you technically have less that you're wasting. But like, realistically, you need to make more so you have more. And you can only make more by either working more for someone in hourly rate, or learn skills to get a higher hourly rate, or like do more of the extra stuff as well.
Yeah, but I would argue that back then, what you had was you had time.
Well, everyone has time. Anyone who says they don't have time is lying to themselves, because you can.
I just don't
Who
agree
doesn't
with
have
that,
time?
though. Like, let's say you are single parent.
Yep.
You've got 2 kids. You wake up, 6 in the morning. You got to make their lunches for them, get them ready for school, clothe them, bathe them, do all that stuff. Drop them off at school at 8. Go to work 9 till 5. Come home. Got to look after them, bathe them again, cook them food. By the time it gets to that, it's 8 o'clock. You've just had a 14-hour day of just nonstop go, 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 go. And that's your life. That is how every day is for you. On the weekend, it's not like you get to sit back, chill with the boys. It's, my kids, my daughter's playing netball, so I have to be up at 8 again. It's constant for people that are in that situation.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they might have, all right, let's say they put their kids to bed at 8:30, and then they have until 10:30 to go to bed. I know you're going to say, spend that 2 hours there educating yourself, learning that type of stuff, which is fair. But a lot of people I'm just going to say, a lot of people can't be fucked.
Well,
by that point,
there's your answer.
But by that point, they can't be fucked because they've just worked a 14-hour day and they're just tired, man.
Then
they're just tired.
Stay tired.
But they don't want to be tired. They're not tired by choice.
Yeah,
they're tired by necessity because they have
100%.
responsibilities. They need to look after their kid.
Yeah.
I'm sure if they could be like, sick, I'm just going to drop my kid off, just going to get rid of my kid for 3 months, and I'm going to go learn a bunch of new skills. I'm sure there'd be plenty of people that would love to just axe their kids, not axe, but get rid of their kids for 3 months so they have time, they can just chill and relax.
Yeah, well, I just flat out just use an example in the community. Like Platinum Pete's got 4 kids and he was kind of in this situation, and now he's got more financial freedom because he chose to do more outside of his work.
Yeah, but
there's always time to do things. It's just priority, not time.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not saying like there are definitely people that do have time and who are making excuses who, can work harder. If Mrs. Platinum Pete doesn't exist, I don't know if Mr. Platinum Pete then has that time and that freedom to then go do this stuff.
So you're going single parent now.
That's what I've been saying this whole time.
Yeah,
I think it's important. Like I'm actually really enjoying this back and forth, and I think people that are listening will fully enjoy that, because there would be people going, "Yeah, fuck yeah, Nick, give it to him," and there'd be other people in the community that are, obsessed with kind of the way that JP thinks. They'd be like, "Shut up, Nick," and be like, "Fuck yeah, JP." So this is sick. I think it's important to remember when you are thinking about these scenarios, it's very easy for JP to go, well, the guy that's an absolute weapon is going to do this, this, and this, and this. And then it's easy as for you or the devil's advocate side of the argument to be like, yeah, but there are people that are cooked, right? They've got 4 kids, they're on their own, they've got no money, right? Yeah. So it's easy to think about the extremes on both sides. But it's important to remember that a lot of people that are listening to this are going to fall somewhere between these extremes.
Most people would be in the middle.
Most people are going to be somewhere in the middle, right? So it's the default argument for both sides is like, well, it's actually easy. Like, this is an opportunity. The other is like, it's so fucking hard. These people are cooked. Yeah. But a lot of people listening are not this cooked and are also not JP, right? Yeah. So when they're listening to this or thinking about what's going to happen, they're going to fall somewhere in the middle and need to make a decision based on, they're listening to this argument. They're going, this is a good point. This is also a great point. How can I use this to my advantage?
Yeah, that's fair. And if you do fall in the middle, if you are someone that does, if you are in my position, for example, and you don't have kids, you've got a cat, but he takes care of himself, that type of stuff, then yeah, there's no doubt there is more stuff that you can be doing. But if also, like I said earlier, I'm not really struggling from this whole, what's it called? Crisis. Cost of living crisis. This whole cost of living crisis, it's kind of harder now. Beers cost more, so I don't go out and drink as much as I used to. You might say that's a good thing. But that's kind of the only thing that I've noticed where I'm like, things are getting more expensive.
So if you made more money,
let's
just say you put an extra 30K into your income every year.
Yeah.
Would you drink more beers?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, because you can't though.
Yeah, because I can't. Because I've got the money to do it. Because therefore I'm no longer as much of a victim of the cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
Because I have more money. The obvious answer is always going to be make more money.
But that's
that's
a fair point. But do you actually think that's the obvious answer? Because I would say that the default is, and this whole topic the whole conversation started, is that the default is there's a crisis, I need to save my money.
Yeah, because that is, people will be going, I need to save my money because the option of making more money.
Yeah, it's not an option. They don't know how to.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it's like, oh, what do I do? I already work 40 hours a week. What do I do? Go to my boss and say, hey, I need an extra 20K.
But that's the thing.
And then everyone that works for them does the same thing. Like, that's just not viable.
That's the thing I want to talk about. It's like a lot of people don't have the ability to make money outside of their 9 to 5. They don't know how to, and they don't have the skills to be able to go online and make money. Like, I would say it's never been easy to make money online, not just with like match betting, just anywhere you can make money. But for me to say that, it's because I know how to do it because I learnt it. Other people hearing that, go and find a classic person who's in a 9 to 5 job, office job. They don't know anything apart from what they've been programmed to do in their job. Yeah. And that's something that is the problem more so than the fact that there's no time, I think. When you say, oh, there's more time, like someone, like the guy, the single dad, whatever, he's got 14 hours a day looking after work and kids. Fair enough. And then he sleeps for 8. I mean, sleep for 6 and you'll get an extra 2 hours of stuff. That's 10 hours a week extra. Yeah, your health will be a bit shit. But you've now got 10 hours a week extra of study that you could be doing. Multiply that by 8 weeks. You've got 80 hours and you can learn a lot in, that's right. Yeah. 80 hours. And then you just accumulate skills and expose yourself. If you have like this abundance mindset of wanting to learn versus like the alternative is like, okay, I can sit here and be like, okay, things have gone up. Cost of living's never been more expensive. I'm earning the same amount of money. My bank account's going down. I'm not saving. I'm doing the absolute minimum of my mortgage payments. Okay, I'm just going to sit here and say I'm fucked. Like, where does that get you? Versus, okay, I'm fucked. I'm not all those things, but now I'm going to actually go out of my way to make more money. That is the option. You got 2 options. One of them, you're just going to keep being fucked, and the other one, you're going to be actually beating the crisis. That is the only way, in my opinion, of how someone should approach it.
Yeah, and
it's just hard for people to hear that sometimes.
Yeah, and because the thing is, with Australia and Australians in general, is we have it so good, and we've had it so good for so long, that a lot of people are just like, I should only have to work my 9 to 5. I shouldn't have to do this.
Yeah,
I live in Australia. We're chilling. Like, I shouldn't have to do this. And it kind of sucks. But that's kind of not how it is anymore. It is kind of like, dude, it kind of sucks, but you kind of have to do more. Because otherwise, you are kind of fucked.
You have no choice.
And a lot of people don't really or haven't adapted to that yet and are just stuck in cruise control of, bro.
Agree.
I'm chilling. Oh, it kind of sucks, but like, you know, that is the issue. And it's kind of a reality check for a lot of Australians.
100%.
That's Aussie entitlement.
Well,
yeah, 100%.
But the thing is, I don't know, like, I'm not an economics expert, but like, back in 2020, they started giving...
I'm glad you prefaced this by saying that.
Well, I've got common sense, and I think a lot of my common sense will actually apply to economics, but I'm not an economics expert. Yeah. Point is, in 2020, COVID lockdowns, they just handed out money galore, right? Whether this was planned or not, I don't know. Don't want to get into that discussion. But like, once you start taking away cash, once you start giving people handouts, once you start encouraging job seeker, job keeper, all these things, like people withdrawing super, whatever, you then develop a spending habit. And when you develop a habit of spending more, good luck once things go up, because now you're still doing the same thing, but it's costing you more.
Or it just feeds into like Nick was saying, like lots of us,
so you're getting drained.
Myself included, like during COVID, it's like, bro, we're chilling.
Yeah.
Like we're actually chilling. Like I'm getting $1,400 every fortnight to stay at home.
Yeah.
And I can still work part-time, or I can match bet, or I can start building a business, but like we're chilling. Like I fully agree. I think there are heaps of people that have just realized maybe in the last few months, fuck, I'm not chilling.
Yeah.
Like I can't chill anymore. Well, but now what?
And that sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
My whole life, bro, I've been chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hang on. You say you're chilling. Would you want more money?
Duh, yeah.
Yeah, so when you say you're chilling, you're not obviously, I wouldn't say you're affected by the crisis because you said you're not, but like, I would say you are because now you're doing less things. So why don't you just make more? like you said, you're not going out for beers as much. Like beers is just something you like to do. So now you're, in essence, like you're sacrificing things because you're not making more.
But like, dude,
are you happy with that?
what, sacrificing beers?
Yeah, like
That's fine.
what else are you sacrificing? Just beers?
Well, this is
Like, can you
this is a
travel
great
whenever
question.
you want? Do you want to be
No,
traveling
bro, I
more?
can't.
Like,
But I could never travel whenever I wanted.
why?
Like I was chilling, but I didn't have enough money to go on holidays because I wasn't working high paid jobs, dude.
Yeah, so
Like-
it's not because of the cost of living. It's just because the situation, like your situation.
Yeah, and like I fully put myself in that situation, but for a long time, my priority wasn't work.
Yeah,
My priority wasn't,
money.
Make
money.
more money or upskill or
yeah. My priority was
chilling.
my passions, my hobbies, doing that
Yeah.
stuff. That's what I put all my time and effort into. That didn't make money for me. Whereas if I had of, 10 years ago, instead of going down, because I'm a creative person, if I've full chased my creative passions and that type of stuff, knowing that this is going to like my mates are buying houses, and I'm looking at them going, how are they affording this? I'm like, oh no shit, they didn't spend the last 8 years of their life like doing music stuff. They worked the whole time. So like, yeah, I have kind of gotten myself into this position, but that was a choice of mine at the time.
Yeah, that's
Well explained.
Yeah,
That
well
was good.
explained. What I will say to that, just because someone's buying a house doesn't mean it's a good thing. Because, like, obviously people are just buying them for the sake of being able to buy them. Doesn't mean it's good, because a lot of people, like, they just do it because they feel like it's the right thing to do without actually thinking about it. We've had this discussion, but, like, that's a problem in itself now, because, like...
Well, the flip side to that is like for the last 7 years or whatever, a lot of your mates might have been looking at you going, how the fuck does he get to do the shit he wants to do? Or like, how does he find the money to pursue something that he likes doing? Like, there's always a different perspective. Like, the grass is always greener.
Yeah, like, dude, I'm not sitting here saying I regret doing what I did. I'm happy I've lived my life the way that I am. But there was a wake-up call 2 years ago or something when I was like, oh, shit, I need more money. And that was genuinely, that was why I started Match
What
Bet.
was that?
It was me going, fuck, I don't have enough money.
For what, though? Like travel or something?
So I was going to Europe, and I was just kind of scraping pennies together for that. And I was like, all right, well, I kind of need more money. And then I had a discussion with a couple of my mates, and they told me how much money they were making. And then I was like, oh, that's a lot more than I'm making. Fuck. Well, I'm still going to work this job that I'm working. What else can I do on the side?
Is this prior to the last job or the last job?
That was at the last job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Do you realize that there would be people sitting here listening to you right now thinking that you are speaking from, and you used the word with JP before, I'm going to use it on you, privilege. You've just said that you realize you need more money because you couldn't go on a Europe trip, or you didn't have enough money for the Europe trip that you wanted.
Yeah, bro.
And there's going to be people sitting there going, Europe? Brother, I can't pay my electricity bill.
I said earlier, bro, I've been chilling for a long time. I'm not
No,
going
it's
to
just
sit
funny
here.
to provide that perspective.
No,
and
that's
like,
the thing. I'm not sitting here saying I'm not, dude, we're all privileged. Blanket statement. But like living in Australia in general, we're all extremely privileged. Some more privileged than others, that type of stuff. And yeah, me saying, oh, I need more money to go on my Europe trip.
I'm not having a go, by the way.
Yeah,
I just found it funny that like...
Yeah,
What's
that's
what's
what
the
triggered
definition
you.
of privilege?
So the definition of privilege, JP, is having special rights, advantages, or immunities.
That's fucking...
Or,
Yeah,
or
well, in that
legally...
sense,
That's
we-
broad.
Or legally protected.
Can you talk about money?
financial privilege, I guess.
I'd
is
say
what
I
we call it.
have an advantage.
Yeah, of course we do. We all have an advantage.
But who are we comparing that to? Someone in Africa?
Of course. Well, this is again like
Aussie privilege.
this is the perspective.
But is
I
that
was
what you're
using
talking
before.
about? Like, I agree.
spectrum.
When people say to me, "Oh, there's no such," I say there's no such thing as luck. Some fucking idiot goes, "Oh, but what about the people who were born into like poverty in Africa?" I'm like, well, I'm not talking about that. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like I'm talking about a situation where like something bad happens and you choose to either go in a negative frame mind or a positive frame mind, or something bad happens to you. It's the way you perceive it. I'm not talking about being
we're
born into a
side
country.
quest here.
Like, but that's privilege. What else is privilege? Like, let's take it down from poverty from each country and go back to like, you said at the start, I had financial freedom.
Well,
I have the
advantages.
privilege.
Yeah. Well, advantage would be like, you grown up in a home with your mum and dad in a nice area. You went to a nice school.
Yeah, compared to
like
people
that's not lucky, but that is privilege. Like it's hard to.
Well, I had an advantage, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But like
I'm
I
sure
would
that's
say,
what he's referring
you
to.
can still make it without that.
Hold up, lads. Just a shameless plug here. But if you're watching, listening to this, enjoying it, whatever it may be, if you subscribe, if you like it, if you share it, it helps us know that what we're doing is working, and it also helps us reach more people so we can change more lives. I want to revisit something, and this is a good segue into that. Before, when we spoke about like, it's harder for some people. Nick, you were giving some examples. A lot of it comes back to time, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't always think that time is the thing holding people back. I think sometimes that they can be a little bit less resourceful than potentially they think that they are. Now, we spoke off air before because you brought up a really good point. Like, right, there's a crisis, right? And a lot of people probably doing fuck all, they're chilling, right? And they could be doing more. But there are some people that are in situations where they're maxed out pretty much. The single mom example that you use, they're pretty much maxed out.
Yeah.
But I would love to, and the reason that I like to think about this is because the example that you provide or the thinking that you use there, and I'm not saying that this is you, but from that camp of thought, is that that single mum is fucked. She has no hope and she's done. That's when I hear people use that, I think that you're thinking in your head that she's done. She has no hope, like may as well roll over and pack it in because she can't get out of it. And that's because it's like, well, she has no time. And I agree that she probably has fuck all time. But can we look at it like, okay, it is more difficult for her than for JP or for you. But like, is there any hope here? Can we like get resourceful? Like, does she have family members that she can lean on? Can she ask her boss for a raise? Can she ask the bank or the landlord for a couple of months to get back on her feet? Like, have we done everything possible? And if we have, then yeah, like obviously that's a dire situation and she potentially needs outside help or an act of God. Yeah. But I would say that's a minuscule percentage of people, right? And even then I would still like to think that every person is thinking, I can get out of this, or I have the ability to do something, or I'm going to make sure that this gets better, as opposed to just being like, well, she's fucked, let's forget about her type thing.
Yeah, I would say that there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel for people that want there to be light.
Correct.
Yeah, great.
If there are people who, I don't know, if you suffer from depression or you have mental health issues and it is very doom and gloom, you don't have a lot of self-worth, it's harder for those people to then turn around and be like, I am worth making a change. I would say, like, the single mum, she's not fucked. It's just a lot harder for her, and probably she's not going to go, oh, I'm just going to go, you know.
Obviously not that, but I'm saying like that train of thought is like she's hopeless. Like, what's she going to do? She's hopeless.
Yeah, or she can, well, yeah, for a lot of people it might, well, not a lot of people, but for her it might just be raise the kids, raise them well, and then once they are old enough to work and make money, then
different priorities. Yeah,
put into work, and it's her making the self-sacrifice, knowing that it's hard for her, and she's in a tough position, but if she can tough it out, then her 3 kids or whatever, they can then hopefully go make something of themselves.
Yeah, I fully agree. And the best part, the reason that I wanted to like revisit that point or speak about like, okay, you either look at it like, let's build these people up or give them hope or give them opportunity or think about ways for them to get out of it, as opposed to going, oh, everyone's fucked, is because we're talking about, and you've brought up like the worst case scenario, right? Yeah. But we then also just discussed that most people, JP's here, or people like JP, if I call him Elon Musk, Bill Gates, whatever, it doesn't have to be JP. Whatever. These people.
Just those people like him, yep.
These people. And then there's like the single moms that are like completely cooked, and it's as hard as it's ever going to get, right?
Yeah.
But most people listening to this fall somewhere in the middle. Yeah. So if you can agree that this person can still have hope or can be more resourceful or something that can just be like, cool, I'm going to get through this and this is what I'm going to focus on. Brother, these people are chilling.
Yeah, I understand that. And that's the thing, is those people that are chilling, it sucks, but it's kind of like, bro, you kind of just got to chill less. You can still chill and have time to chill, but then the more time you spend chilling, the less money you're going to make, the less progress you're going to make. And it is kind of, this whole cost of living crisis is kind of more just to boot up everyone's ass. To make them go, oh shit, I was chilling, now I'm not chilling as much. I need to do this.
Yeah.
A lot of us have grown up with just like the luxury of the choice. It's, I could do this if I want to, or I could not do it. Now it's getting to the point where it's like, I need a second stream of income or I am fucked. Not fucked, but or, you know, I'm going to have to move a couple suburbs away from where I want to live. That type
make
of stuff.
changes.
Like that is...
Sacrifices.
Yeah. For a lot of people, that's kind of the mindset that they are in. It's not like, oh, I need a second stream of income or I'm getting kicked out of my house. It's just we all have ideas of how we want to live. I want to live here. I want to live there. I don't want to live there. For a lot of people, the idea of moving, you know, 5 train stations further away from the city is like, oh, no, I don't want to fucking do that. That's going to ruin my life. When in reality, it's not going to ruin their life. It's just we're so comfortable and we've been comfortable for so long.
For sure. Well, like JP tweeted the other day and it caused a bit of a storm, which is pretty normal these days for some of JP's tweets. But so JP's tweet was, is it a cost of living crisis or is it a lack of effort or a lack of critical thinking crisis? Yeah. Explain that further. What were you thinking when you tweeted it?
I've said this heaps of times. I think humans don't actually think enough in general. So when they make decisions, they make the wrong ones because they're not thinking. So, for example, money's a good one because a lot of people buy things or get into situations that they don't actually know the consequences, the upside, the downside of like getting into a mortgage, for example, when they're not ready, or buying a $900,000 house when they probably should only buy a $500,000 house based on their income. So that's an example of not critically thinking properly, not weighing up the situation. And then you've got a lack of effort crisis, which is like, you can sit there and be like, oh yeah, I can sit there and complain about how much money I'm not making or how the cost of living's gone up. Or you can actually just go and make more money through effort or through doing more. If you do that, you have created a buffer in the amount that you earn versus spending, and then therefore you're out of the crisis. So that was like, is it a cost of living crisis? Because yeah, cost of living goes up, but like you can't change that. So you can change learning more, thinking more, buying more skills, like getting more experience at something to make you more money. That's what you can control. That requires effort. That requires thought. That requires education. But a lot of people aren't doing that, and instead they just want to sit there and cry about it. Crying about it won't help you. So that was what I was saying. I'm like, and then someone commented like about like single moms, whatever, people with disabled kids. It's like, yeah, cool. That happens. But again, same thing, and I'll stand by it. It's like people think I'm just like ruthless, cold-hearted person. You still are in the same situation, whether you suck or not. Where you're going to end up is not going to change unless you do something about it. So control it, make more effort, make more money, or accept that you're fucked and then just be fucked.
I want to pick apart one thing that you said there at the start. It's funny the way that he just like brutally speaks about stuff like that. And it's very polarizing and some people get triggered by that. And you said something to me the other day, you're like, it's good if I trigger people because it actually means that they start thinking. Correct. So if you're triggered right now, you're obviously thinking about the situation and maybe something that's been said there hits home, and that's a good thing. Like, don't get angry. That's a good thing.
Act on those thoughts.
But you said that when people don't critically think, they end up being wrong or they make decisions that are wrong. What does that mean? What's wrong? Wrong based on what?
Well, it's not wrong. It's going to harm them versus help them. So I use the mortgage example. Like, I don't know, you might have $80K worth of savings and you buy I don't know, what's the minimum deposit? 5% deposit you can get now. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Let's just say you bought a fucking $1.2 million house. Like, man, you've got a big buffer to pay. Like, you've got like 940,000 you got to pay off right now. Versus if you bought a $500,000 house, you're gonna pay that off quicker and you're gonna be in less stress because you don't have you can bridge the gap quicker. So if you don't think about it and you just go, oh yeah, cool, this mortgage broker said I can do this, I've got enough money, he signed me this, I'm just going to sign it. Like, good luck. Versus, okay, I earn 100,000, my partner earns 60,000, our rent costs this, our mortgage is going to cost this, land tax is this, stamp duty is this, inflation might happen, the interest rate's going to change. I'm now thinking about, I've got to pay this to my kid's got to go to this school, I've got to take my kid, I've got groceries going to go up. Like, now you've actually evaluated and critically thought about a budget that actually is then, okay, cool. Maybe that is now stupid to buy the $1 million house. What did I say before? 1.2. That was wrong. I just realized.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, $1 million house with an 80K deposit versus, okay, that's wrong. I'm not going to ever get that. It's way too expensive. Now I'm going to look for a $600,000 house.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
critically thinking.
Delete the house perspective from this, and I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to walk through the right and the wrong decision from JP's perspective, right? From the person at this end of the spectrum. Cost of living crisis right now. You got 25 grand savings, but every month what you're making isn't covering your expenses, and you're starting to eat into your savings. And in 10 months' time, if this continues to happen, you're going to have no savings left. What's the right and wrong decision? Like if you look at that and someone says, all right, JP, map out what you're doing if you're me, and then map out what the standard decision-making process would be from there.
Hold on, I'm just assuming this person's working 40 hours full-time.
Sorry,
job.
yes.
Pretty, like,
so they're working a 9 to 5.
Are they aware that they're going to have no money?
Single person working 9 to 5, aware in a sense that they've just had this realization that Nick said, they're going, I'm not chilling anymore. What the fuck? I actually needed to use some of my savings to pay my rent this month.
So they've started thinking.
Yes.
Okay. They've just done their budget.
All right. So
but what are the next steps from here?
Well,
because there are going to be people listening right now that is exactly them.
Well, if you're going backwards, you need to make more money or save more money. One of the two. Like I said before, you can do one of the two. Both. However, do both. Yes, correct. If you've got a spending issue, you need to stop the spending first. So go in your write down every single thing, get your credit card statement, get whatever the stuff you're paying, right? Your bank. Write down all your subscriptions, get Excel, Netflix, all these. People have subscriptions coming out of their ass. Like J2G before was like, delete your $400 a month subscriptions. There's 5K in a year, right? Now, obviously, you want some. People can't be like a cyborg where they just do nothing and look at a wall, right? You can have Netflix, whatever. But there'll be subscriptions. Delete them. They're already saving money. Then you can look at, okay, can I get cheaper on stuff like insurance? I don't know, gas bill. Go call up the gas company. Free call. Everyone has free calls these days. Go rort 3-4 against each other. Make them fight. You save $100 maybe every 3 months. There's 400 in a year. All of a sudden, you do a couple of these things, shop around for internet, shop around for the things that you need to pay for, save on those, and then go, okay, what else do I do that I am spending too much on? Am I going out every weekend and spending $300 on a night out, going drinking beers, whatever else? If that can be taken out all of a sudden, do half those amount of nights out, more money's come. Those things are easy to do, but you won't ever get to a zero because you have to spend. Your rent can't go down. You can't ask a landlord for a discount. That's just the way it is, whatever, accept that. But then from there, sort the spending out first, then go, okay, how can I make more? What opportunities are out there? Now, for people out there who don't have any clue how to make money, it's harder for them to start because they just don't know what to do.
Well, let's just assume, because they're listening to this, right? This is not for everyone in the whole wide world. Yes, Someone's listening to this, so they have an interest in either match betting, what you have to say, or just generally getting out of this spot. Man, what's the next step?
It's biased, but match betting is free money. So do it if you want to learn it. Like, there's money to be taken. If you don't want to do match betting, well, you're going to have to find other ways to make money. I'm not an expert on that. Like, I can't tell you to go and make $5,000 drop shipping because I've never done it, right? But I can tell you that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people doing match betting in Australia, 1,500 of them in our community that makes money. Yep. And what's more important is the skills and the knowledge and the way you think will actually help you to then be better in further situations. Everyone swears by the fact that since they've started match betting, since they've been in the community, they think differently about money. That's why half the people in our community are saying, if you check the Discord now, I put a thing out, everyone's rinsing everyone who's complaining because they can't see it from their perspective because they know how to make money. Pete said it's more of an education problem. It's like people don't actually know how to make money. So if we're assuming people know how to make money, like how are they making money? Right now they're just doing their job. What else are you doing outside of those hours? Like, there's 168 hours in a week, I think. Let's just say we sleep for an average of 8 hours a night. That's 56 hours. Probably overs for most people. Most people probably sleep less than that. But let's just go max 56 hours in a week. Round down to 100. You've got 100 hours left. You work 40. You've got 60 hours in your week. Travel time, add another 10. You got 50 hours left. You can do a lot in 50 hours. Now, go get another job. That has its limitations. You can do that if it's getting you $20 an hour.
But it's still practical.
It's enough to get you more money. Like, you can earn an extra 10 hours a week. That's $400, $200. 20 hours a week, $400. There's 60 now. You don't have much time. But I would do a mixture of both. Get your second job. Do something. I don't know. Sell shit in your house. Like, you had a phone call with Wayne 3 months ago from the community, and he was trying to join Platinum and he couldn't. He had no money. On the call, you told him, all right, what have you got in your house? What can you do to save money? And he found a way to get in there, and now he's making more money, right? We helped him out a little bit with some discounts and whatever. But point is, there's always things to do. Like, there's just always things to do. Go start mowing the next door neighbor's lawn and ask him for $20. Like, just make it happen. Like, don't sit there and sook, because it won't help you. I don't know. Is that?
I was going to say, do you have any thoughts on this, Nick? What if someone asked you, genuinely, what if someone asked you what I just asked JP? I'm stuck, man. I've just realized that I'm not fucking chilling anymore and I'm starting to lose money every month. What? Give us a default rundown, because you obviously think and live very differently to JP. So give us a rundown.
It's kind of true though. Like, well, it is true what he's saying. It is like you either, make more money, spend less money, or you just continue to just tread water until you slowly drown. So like,
that's a good way of putting it.
He's not wrong. And I'm not.
Like, what did you do?
He's not wrong.
When you had that moment?
Yeah, when you had.
Fuck me. Well, what did you do?
I don't want this to sound like a big advertisement for match betting
just
or anything
tell
like
us the
that.
story.
No, I'm
bro,
being serious.
obviously,
But how did you didn't?
But
even
you haven't
punt.
gone on and made like 100K. You've not made a
no.
ridiculous amount of money match betting, like some.
No, I've made like 14K. Like, that's not life changing at all. That is literally just like my savings now. So like every paycheck I get, I pretty much spend it all, because I know that I have my savings over there just growing and growing and growing.
So it's growing though.
Yeah.
Like, you're not treading water though. You're growing.
Well, that's easy.
Like lifestyle wise, I do kind of feel like I'm treading water, because it's pretty much paycheck to paycheck. But instead of it being paycheck to paycheck and I have zero savings, it's paycheck to paycheck. But then my savings is over here in my betting accounts, slowly just growing, compounding slowly.
Just hold that thought, Nick. Sorry to interrupt, but if you're listening to this or watching it right now and thinking, I should learn how to make a bit more money, or what are these guys doing to make money? It's a thing called match betting. You can learn how to do it for free. We've put together a course. It goes for 2 hours, videos, walkthroughs, and tutorials. It's linked in the description of wherever you are listening to or watching this podcast. Good luck. What were you saying, JP?
You're that person that he just said. But now you've got a second income, so you're not that person anymore, because it's going up. So you've solved the problem by having a second income. So you if you didn't have that, you would be even or slightly down. I don't know. But point is, you've got that.
Savings for sure.
You've got that. Like, this is going up.
Yeah.
Because you've decided to, you reached out to our Instagram and started to
Well, I was
learn.
about to say, I'm going to say something else that I reckon you've forgotten that you've done.
Yeah.
And so many people could do this. Bro, you took a risk. You threw your hat in the ring for a job when we posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then you got a new job in a workplace that you had no idea if you were going to like it. You had no fucking idea what was going to happen. You worked for free on a couple of Saturdays.
Yeah.
Threw your hat in the ring. So you say that you don't do, but you've done these things, man.
Yeah. Well,
and then like, I don't know where you got paid at your last job, but I think you got a pay rise to join here.
Bro, like, that's what I was saying before, dude. People don't try. People are in the mindset of, and it's fair, bro, work-life balance, all that type of shit. I'm a huge advocate for that type of stuff. Massive on it. So I understand that there are people that just want to work 40 hours a week because they want to go see their friends, because that's what makes them happy. That's what they like doing. They like going to watch their mate play footy on the weekend. They like playing footy themselves. They like going out on a date with the missus on Saturday night, and then they like go and see their mum on Sundays and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's completely fine.
Of course.
But
well, you're not JP. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want people watching this. Yeah, there you go. Fuck no.
He goes,
but I don't want people to get a
November 15, he said, JP, stop the search, mate. I'm the guy you're looking for.
Yeah, nice.
And then he just fully just said,
but I don't want
I'm
people to I don't want this to turn into like a warped reality of like Nick is JP or like is like a fucking, I'm going to do, because you're not. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I want you to stay authentic in this. Like,
no, 100%, bro. Like,
no, but he made shit happen. Yeah. So people are addicted to comfort.
Yeah.
100%.
Safety. Put a blanket over him and feel good. Oh, yeah. Like, someone in the community right now is asking me, like, I hate my job. I'm going to Europe. He sent me a really good voice. I just said, quit your job. Like, he's making good money match betting. He's in the mentorship program, right? He's printing money, whatever. But he's like, I'm not sure. Like, what do I do if I don't have a job? Like, what can I do in the extra hours? I'm like, man, sort that fucking out after. Just quit first. You hate it. You're literally... Oh, my dad's not sure if I should be doing it. Bro, fuck your dad. With all due respect, you're leading to live for your life. You need to be happy, not for your dad's happiness.
Yeah, bro.
And he'll work it out eventually. Once you're happy, he'll be happy, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, this is something that you and me do have definitely. We see the same eye to eye on. Is just like,
which is rare.
Just yeah, like living your life for someone else, or like societal expectations of, well, you know, I go to high school and then I go to uni and then I get my full-time job and then I find my missus and then I have a kid and then I live the rest of my life. It's like,
forgot the wedding.
Oh, fuck, yeah, sorry. Have the wedding and then pay that off, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, fuck that. Like, if that's what you want to do, more power to you. But just like...
But not really many people want to actually do that. Like, if you lay it out like that, do you want to do this? I don't think, and this probably comes back to the lack of critical thinking.
Yeah, that's because, dude, we're almost not programmed to think that way. That's a bit too fucking cynical. Okay. We are.
But you are. That's what you're told to do. So technically that is programming. You even said
and then a lot of people don't have the balls to go, correct. Oh, yeah, but like, nah, actually, fuck that.
The balls is massive.
Yeah, bro. Like,
fully.
And it's just... Yeah, it sucks, bro. People are scared. People are petrified of just like, oh, you know, I graduated from high school 8 years ago, but what's the guy who was 2 years below me going to think if I start a YouTube channel or shit like that? People are fucking petrified of just dumb shit. And it's like, dude, are you happy with your life or are you just like sad as fuck? Or are you just too insecure to try anything? A lot of people are just paralyzed by fear. They're just like, oh, what's this person going to think? What's this person going to think? It's like, fuck that, bro. What do you think about yourself?
That's how I used to think when we started this. I didn't want to go face on social media. People laugh at that. But that's the truth. I was thinking, like, he rinsed me at the start for doing, like, social... You go, oh, you're putting your face on hustler. Like, he was in, like, almost, like, trigger mode. Like, he was a bit... Because I excluded him from it at the start.
My fucking printing machine, you dog.
Excluded the match betting syndicate that we're running. And I said, I'm doing this. And I didn't tell him. And then he's like, oh, you're putting your face on it. Like, that sort of backhanded compliment stuff that everyone does when you start. You start something and people laugh at you. They make jokes.
That's Aussie culture.
Correct. You get cut down. Who's put a... Someone put a video, I think it was Gator. He said, whenever someone starts something, you just get fucking rinsed, you get laughed at. Australians just, they wouldn't bring down the person having a crack.
Oh, man, I have it as well. Like I have it, like full transparency, like 2 days ago is my birthday, right? And I had people that I've known for, I don't know, that I would consider like mates for like 10 years. And over like the last year, you can just see them like get saltier and saltier or make, you know, snide comment after snide comment after snide comment, and then they just disappear. So it eventually like goes away. Like it used to bug me massively. Yeah. Like I'd send screenshots to JP of like comments that like mates would make, and I'll always would ignore them. I would never say anything, never bite back. Yeah. But then they eventually just stop. And like at the end of the day, if you're not doing something that you want to do or that you think you want to pursue because you're worried about like a few messages, like I'm proof that like eventually they stop. Like, they eventually disappear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but like what he said, you need to put yourself above what they think. Because if you're not putting yourself above what they think, then you're letting their fucking opinions and thoughts basically control how you want to live your happiness.
But it's a lot easier to say than to do.
Yeah, it is hard to do.
But like, it is hard at the start.
Yeah, for sure, it is. You need to get over it.
Like, it's not like you just wake up and you're like, cool, bro, like, I'm just going to attack the world and I don't care what everyone thinks and I'm like this bulletproof guy. Because even when you start, I think you actually have to, this is such a segue, but I think you actually have to convince yourself of it.
100%.
Yeah.
So
So you have to be like, this doesn't bother me, when in reality, it probably at the start is bothering you.
Oh, yeah. Whether it bothers you, it's going to bother you. It's just whether you let it bother you for a long time.
It bothers me, but it's not going to change me making this next video. Or it's not, like, at least for 12 months, even if this shit bothers me, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to fucking pursue the music. Or, you know, people are telling me, fuck, bro, you're fucking no chance to do that. Or, like, who's going to want to get around that? But it's like, well, I want to get around it, so I'm going to try.
Like, you've always been like, really conservative with what we talk about. And I think you're now becoming more free with it. And you care less as well. You've always been like, oh, we can't talk about this because someone else will think this. And it's like, now we just like talk.
Yeah. I just more so want, I don't know, I like when what we speak about is relatable in a sense that it's like people that aren't or don't think the way that we think, we still open up the opportunity for them to eventually think. Instead of just like,
we're right, you're wrong.
We're the best, right. It's just more so like, I get how you feel. I get why when you watch this, it triggers you. I get that you don't think the same way as JP or even as Nick. But that still doesn't mean that you have no hope or that you shouldn't try. That's the part that I'm like fighting between. Like I want to help the people that can be helped, but potentially don't know how they can help themselves. Whereas it's way easier to just be like, we're just hunting for absolute weapons that have already made this decision, and we'll just help you get 20x on what you.
No, we obviously want to prioritize those people, but we still want to help the people who are at the bottom.
And that's like that's the part where I'm like, you know, can we do a bit of both?
You deal with the people the most on the text, right?
Maybe I'm sympathetic to that because I do speak to them every
day.
day.
I think like you spoke to that Dre guy in, I don't know what state he's in, but like he started with like, I don't know how much, you could probably tell that story.
He was broke, man.
Yeah, and now he's starting a car detailing business and saving up for that, and he joined the horse system the other week. Like, that's taken him 9 months or 6 months to actually get to that point. Yeah. And I remember you had him call twice. Like, I don't know.
It's recorded somewhere.
Yeah, we'll get it out
both of them
eventually.
are recorded.
But like, what was he saying? Like he was...
No, well, he was just pretty much saying like, I'm really stuck, man. Like, he's like, I want to do all this shit.
How old is he?
He's 18 or 19. Yeah. Lives in SA. His name's Drew. I'm sure he won't get Andre. And he's like, man, I had a chat with him, like, and it was pretty bleak, like, to be real. Like, I remember I left the room and I'm like, man, that was so tough. Like, this 19-year-old kid thinks he's fucked. Like, he's like, I don't know, I can't make any money. Like, live at home. My parents charge me like whatever. He's like, he's doing nothing. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like, he's like, well, on Saturday I give myself a $10 budget. I go to the pub, have a couple beers, and I punt my $10. Yeah,
$10.
No, as in like for betting. Yeah, right.
Oh.
And I'm like, because he was working at a car detailer, but making like $300 cash a week, and he was giving like 150 to his parents. But this is the thing, right? So I'm like, what are you spending every cent on? And then he walked me through it all. Some of it was like a couple of banh mi's a week, couple of coffees. He was just not saving a cent. Yeah. And I just like flat out asked him, like, bro, how do you think you're going to get out of what's happening right now if you don't do anything different? Yeah. And he's like, that's why I'm on the call, man. I'm fucked. Like, I need help. And I was like, well, this is what you need to do. No banh mi's, no coffees, no punting, no beers. Do that for a month, and based on what you told me, like, you'd be able to save $100 a week from doing that. And also, why don't you knock on every door in your street and tell them that you're a car detailer, and see if any of them will let you do it for like $50. It's probably like a $200. Yeah. But just do it for $50. Yeah. And he did that. I was shocked. I was like, bro, this guy's no hope. Yeah. But I'll tell him anyway. And he did it. And then he messaged me like a week later. He's like, I've saved $500. And then like a month later, he's like, I'm still doing this, by the way. Like, just so you know, I made like $700-800. Thanks so much for the call. And then he joined eventually. And now he's going to start making money match betting. Now, that's a guy that I reckon in your summary of like situations, he would be like here. And he's like, he's fucked. He's cooked.
No, but in his head he would be.
That's what I mean. Like, he's thinking like, I'm done. I got no money. I got no skills.
Yeah. Yeah, but he was done because someone else would be in that situation and wouldn't do that. So they're still done. Yeah. So he was done, but he chose to get out of it.
But that's why I still like, to some extent, making the content or like speaking to the people that are like him. Yeah. I mean, bro, they're not the ideal person to get into the community as a business perspective, but like, I like that we still do that.
No, but hang on. The people that are getting to where they are now as ideal members, some of them came from that.
For sure.
And that's where we had this discussion start of the year. We're like, well, hang on. Do we just want to get people who are already here, or do we want to also look at people who are here? Because, I don't know, some of the best people in the community have come from that.
Well, that's why I think it's nice that like we have, for example, like you're more like polarizing. I'm going to trigger people. I just want to find people that think the same way as me, and I want to work with them. And I think it's nice to have that.
Yeah, but on the way you'll get other people who are in the middle who will come up to that level as well.
For sure, but I think that requires a lot more on their part than us potentially spoon feeding them and holding their hand to get them to like the halfway point where they watch one of your videos and eventually realize, oh, I can be that, or I want to be that.
Previously, I've been more towards the help people, no matter who they are. But unfortunately, not that I don't want to help people anymore. I still help people, but it's hard because you end up spending more time with those people. Then you have the less ability to help more people at the top, which sounds fucked, but like that's the reality.
The only counter argument to that is we now produce way more content and we produce way more free stuff, and our YouTube is packed full of like, thanks to Nick. Our YouTube is packed full of like, if you are feeling hopeless or lost or you don't know what to do, there's like so much free stuff that it's like, maybe if we don't spend our individual personal time with the people at that level, there is still no reason why you can't at least make it to the middle where it would get to a point where you then get that time.
The content does it for you, or like you'll send an email out challenging people's thoughts. You did a number of those through the start of the year. We'll get more of those out. That helped a lot of people, I think, get out of like their thoughts and wake them up, like for sure. So we'll keep doing that. So we'll keep challenging your thoughts and making you think.
Plus, we have Nick's perspective.
Like, I think what's happened with that dude, this will sound whack, but what's happened with that dude is literally got the benefit of hitting rock bottom. And
That's
for a lot of people,
yeah,
a lot of people never hit rock bottom. A lot of people live the cruisy life. They're chilling. You know, parents help them out, blah, blah, blah. And then as a result, they never actually sit there and reflect and go, fuck, like, what am I doing? What do I want in life? So by him sitting there and going, I am fucked, it's good that he's gone, I am fucked, I want to change this. Because some people go, I'm fucked. And then they just wallow in self-pity for a long time. I think that's what a lot of like people 18 to 20, I used to do this as well. I remember I used to think, I left high school, I was a fucking idiot. But I was just like, oh, what? Like, I should be rich soon. By 25, I remember when I was like, by 25, I should own a house. I should be doing all this shit.
Why did you think that?
I just did.
Because everyone else was doing that, or what?
It's just what I thought to do. It's just what I thought life was. Yeah. And then, you know, you look on social media and you see all these like rich people your age, like YouTubers and shit like that. And you're like, oh, they're living the sickest life. Go on Instagram. Oh, this guy's living the sickest life. And then you're just there going, fuck, like, what am I doing?
What you're describing right now, and I've seen Chris Williamson speak about this on a podcast. I just wanted to Google what it's actually called. Like, there's actually a name for what you're describing, and it's called the region beta paradox, which means that people are living in a situation of like, it's called like mild comfort, the not so bad situation, where if it was worse, it would be better for them. And the way that it's explained is like, if I told you that where we're going is 1 kilometer away, we'd walk it, right? Yeah. But if I told you it's 5 kilometers away, we would drive it and get there quicker.
Yeah.
So if a situation seemed worse, or we're faced with a situation that's way worse, we have to make a change.
Yeah.
So if you're in like this job where it's like, the bosses aren't that bad, I get paid all right, like could get more, but fuck, it doesn't matter. Or like, you know, my missus is all right, like she doesn't give me shit, you know, I'm not fucking madly in love with her and I'm not excited by it, but she doesn't like piss me off and she's fine and my friends like her, or whatever it is, right? Like, you're not going to make a change. Whereas if like the boss is a fucking dick and it's like, bro, I need to leave, or I have no money, I need to quit, or my missus keeps cheating on me, so then you would make changes. Yeah. So it's funny that you just explained that without realizing what you were explaining.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, by that dude sitting there and going, shit, I need to make a change, he's then made a change. Whereas a lot of people would never even get, well, they wouldn't get to that point, and then they get to 45 and go, I've done fuck all with my life.
Yeah, there's no forced adaptation to do it, because he had no choice. Yeah.
So this is a perfect segue into like what's happening right now in terms of like, let's go back on topic, right? Cost of living crisis. But it's an opportunity. This cost of living crisis, because what you're saying is like people are starting to get out of that chilling zone to like the oh fuck zone. So it's like, okay, now you're in the oh fuck zone. What are we doing? Like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Well,
what can people do? I know we've already discussed like making money, but it's like, what if you're listening to this still and you're like, yeah, Nick described it perfectly. I was chilling and now I'm like, oh fuck. Like, you just need to actually ask yourself, what are you going to do? Like, what are you doing to get better? Or what are you doing to get out of it?
You have to
just do something.
Literally do something. But
doing nothing is getting you fucking nowhere.
You need to upskill. Life is just upskilling. It's like a game. Like, if you stack knowledge, skill, experience, you get
gain
more
XP, move to the next level.
You get more power to do more.
Yeah.
You make more money with more skill, knowledge, experience. Yeah. You can present yourself to someone who's better than you, present someone higher than your current job or current wage. You can then use those skills to start a business. You can sell a service to someone by learning those skills. So if you're not upskilling right now, you're going to get left behind. You need to learn more because other people are. Right now, what's happening, the poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer. Simple as that.
Well, that's where I was kind of more alluding to, is like, you can, like, if you are in that, oh fuck, I'm not chilling anymore, that's good, in my opinion. Because you were just going to chill forever and maybe it wasn't going to like push you to do what you want to do. But now you've realized that you have to do something. So like, lots of people won't do anything. So instead of saying you're going to get left behind, you can leave everyone else behind.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that changes it. Like, it literally changes your life.
It's just about also being able to accept that you're no longer chilling.
Yeah.
To actually have the self-awareness to realize I need to do something here, and then to actually act on that. I feel like a lot of people have gone, cost of living crisis, fuck.
Legit.
Then what?
Now what?
Then nothing.
I'm going to
Then
post
they're
on
like,
Twitter
oh,
about
fuck.
it.
Then
New episode of my favourite show on Netflix, though. Sick, bruh. And then
Yeah.
they just
Yeah,
watch
or it's
that.
like fuck elbow. Like if I complain enough, they'll give us more money or something. Like
Yeah, like, bruh.
Well, this is the thing. It's like you're not going to change. Like Jackson was on the live yesterday. He's like, "Oh, people are going to band together and like challenge it."
Fuck no.
Like challenge what, bro? It's not going to fucking make the petrol price or the grocery store go down.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
This is
Just
life
go and make
now.
more money or learn how to.
This is
Simple.
life.
Correct. Accept it and adapt.
It kind of sucks, but
Yeah, but it sucks if you let it.
yeah, that's the
It,
thing.
it does suck for 10 minutes, like Dre, and then Dre decided to go and knock on doors, and now it doesn't suck.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. So many people would never knock on doors because
Well, yeah.
that people are going to shut the door in your face and say, nah, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
And so many people just aren't used to being told no. And then, hey, fear of rejection, blah, 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 all that type of stuff. So many people live paralyzed by fear. They're like, oh, you know, I really want to go be a car detailer, but that means I'm going to have to knock on people's door. What
Yeah,
if
it's hard.
What if that guy says no? And it's like, yeah, fuck, no shit, it's hard. But like, the best things in life come when you're not in your fucking comfort zone, bro. You can sit in your bedroom and jerk off all day if that's what you want to do. That's getting you fucking nowhere, bro. But if you actually go and you knock on 20 doors, and even if they all say no, you can come back to your bedroom and you'll sit down and you'll go, fuck, I just did that.
But it's
That was kind of cool.
It's not even knocking on doors though. Like go on. Like this is just going to be like not even superficial, but like I'm just going to put another perspective on it. Like you want to smoking hot misses? Like what do you like? Have you asked 20 smoking hot babes like for a date? Like have you?
Yeah.
Do you want a pay rise? Have you asked?
Closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But like that, this is what I'm saying. Like it's not about knocking on doors. It's like, well, what's something that you think that you actually want, and what have you done to get it?
Yeah.
And what could you? And sure, the thing is like the things that you want, more money or that car detailing job or smoking hot misses or whatever, or, you know, to be a weapon in the gym, like it doesn't matter. Like, it's hard, bro. That's why you want it. So like to get things that other people want, you got to do shit that other people won't do.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just living in fantasy land of, oh, this could happen, but I'm doing nothing about it. But like, it'd be great if it did happen. It's just like, dude,
Just go and ask, man. Go and do something.
yeah, literally just
Try it. Just try.
That's so fucked that is great advice.
What?
Just try.
No, but
Like, that's
this-
But
actually
it's not
great
advice. It's
But
just
it
like,
is,
just do
bro.
it.
no, it is though because
It
it will
is.
work.
Because people don't try.
Someone wrote
think they're
something on
trying,
Twitter the
but
other
they
day.
don't
He
do it.
goes, "If you're not making like 10K a month, you don't want it enough. Not in match betting, just in 10K a month. Like that's 120K in a year. That's not that much money these days. I would say if you're not earning in the vicinity of somewhere close to six figures, you're going to be not like in fuckville, but like you're going to be struggling,
What is fuckville?
struggle town. Because if you're not,
I would say
you don't have a buffer. Like you're just going to be
I
like
would say
okay.
that is your warped reality.
No, I would say that's real.
Depends on your
Yeah,
circumstances.
it depends what you want.
Well, yeah,
Depends
correct.
how old you are. If
don't-
you're 18, you can probably, if you're 18, living with your parents, you
yes,
don't need to be
I'm
making
talking
that
about someone who's got rent or mortgage.
You're talking about someone that's like your age, early 30s, maybe has a missus,
20 no,
doesn't
I'd
live
say
at home.
If you're out of home,
Yeah.
if you want to stay home till you're 35, do that.
Yeah.
A couple of people from my friendship group are still at home. Man, don't get me started on that conversation. That is
But
fucked.
going back to like what could you do? Like in terms of like if you need to like pull money or like save up for something or like, you know, these are, because you go, that's fucked. But there would be some people that maybe that is, there's always a move, man. There's always a move you can make.
What do you, yeah.
Well, like if you're, for example, if you were someone that like, whatever, like you're swamped by expenses or you rented a too expensive place, whatever it is, man, like you could park your ego, go back, save coin, build skills, delete all stresses and anxieties. Like
yeah, that's the thing, dude. But a lot of people would
move into a shit. This is what you're saying.
Moving in a
5
shitter
train
place.
stations are back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck,
But hang
bro,
on,
so
there's,
what?
there's the alternative. It's like,
stay where you are and make more money.
Yeah,
no,
well, you're saying like forced adaptation.
Correct.
Adaptation. Or
you
whatever
can.
it is.
There's a guy who's came listen to the rent. I think you guys are on a podcast. He's talking about business class. I wasn't on it.
Yeah, that's Steve.
He goes, just you have the rule is you have to fly business class. Which I don't agree with this because business class personally, I've never flown it. We have arguments about this.
No, not arguments.
No, debates in
I
terms
fully
of,
no. I don't think that you should do that in order to motivate yourself to live a bit, to like make more money, to live that lifestyle. I don't agree with that, but I do think that once you've flown it, it's all over.
Yeah, well,
For a
maybe
long
that's
haul-
why.
No, like I'm still getting Ryanair and EasyJets and stuff through Europe. That's fine. I'm
I'm
just
like
talking
this
about
with-
just long haul.
But I'm like this for houses. I can't live in an older house after I lived in one because
it's
I've
personal
gone to a
preference,
newer
man.
one and I don't like the older ones.
Whereas Steve thinks that's ridiculous. He
Yeah.
probably thinks that's ridiculous as well.
It's fine.
But
Yeah, as in like no, but as in like you don't care for that. Yeah.
no,
like,
but like what I'm saying is people say like, okay, go and get, okay, I'm considering I'm going to join a $400 a week place or I'm going to go 700. You can afford both. If you go into the 700, I would say if you're that type of person, this is making assumptions, you'll start making more money. Like obviously a dumb person who's not making money, doesn't have the skills, that is a stupid decision. But someone like Lenny, for example, who's made shit happen in the past or has a crack, someone like me, I've had a crack, I will go for that higher thing, knowing that I have to make more money to and I'll just make that happen. Yeah. That's just how I think.
That's
but
advice
some
for
people,
JP disciples, I would say.
Yes.
Like people more towards the weapon end of the spectrum are going to be,
Yeah.
sure, that might spur them on, but that is not.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam. He loved that. He went and rented a joint that was 2x what he was doing, moved out of home. He's like, fuck this. I'm going to go hang out this area. I'll make more money. And now he's making more money. It worked for him. But for most people, it probably won't. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it. I mean, it's interesting.
Just make it happen.
I
This
don't.
office example, we didn't need this office. Like it's an expense, right? But it has brought opportunities. But like sitting
Yeah,
there
it's
at
an
the
expense
start,
because it costs money, but it's also
but we saw it as like, okay, we weren't
We
like,
can get
that's an
Lenny,
in-
we
yeah,
can
but like,
get
that's an
Nick,
investment.
we can get
but
correct.
it's a risk
But it's
that we
also-
didn't need.
yeah.
We were running this business from home. We could still run this business from home. We
Yeah,
don't need an office.
But I wouldn't say living in a more expensive apartment is an investment.
Well, it could be an investment into adaptation, is what I'm saying. Because you force yourself to make more because you're now spending
Yeah.
more. It's like when you move out of home.
That's a
I
very
would not.
niche way of thinking.
Yeah, I would not condone.
Okay, go back.
I don't not agree with it. I'm just saying it's very niche.
Go back
That'd be
a
hard
step.
for people to listen to agree with.
Go back a step then. You're 25 years old and you're living at home, right? Do you reckon you're going to spend more or you're going to spend more if you move out of home? Forgetting rent. Just pretend. So, okay, you got live at home, no rent.
As in like leisure expenses.
Yes. Outside of rent, are you going to spend more or less living at home?
Oh, fuck.
Probably more.
Yeah.
Are
If
we
you're
talking-
living at home, I'd
But
say
are
that
we-
you probably spend more on like going out and drinking beers and
Yeah.
stuff. But
Why?
like maybe, because you
You've
have
got
it.
more disposable
'Cause
income.
what? 'Cause you have it.
disposable income.
Because you can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's an example of forced adaptation. You go to here, you now have to pay $400 a week in rent. You were paying $0 here. Suddenly you have an extra $400. Most people who have extra money, what are they going to do with it?
Yeah, spend it.
Spend it. So go to the $400 a week and now you'll start saving more and you'll have now life skills to learn how to cook, learn how to clean for yourself, be independent, not have your mum wipe your ass, not have your mum cook your breakfast. Those are life skills. That is an investment. You are losing money, but you are paying for investing. You then grow into a stronger person with more skills, more experience, more knowledge. All of a sudden, you now have increased XP in the game.
yeah.
That's
no,
well
I definitely
well
agree.
explained.
Like moving out of home, I could not recommend it more. If you have money to live out of home, because you just grow.
When did you move out of home? What age?
24.
You?
25, I think. 24 or 25.
Was I rinsing you to do that? No.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
And quit job? Same
Nah,
time?
different.
Different.
I'm trying to think when I moved out.
Well, you,
I reckon
you
I've
lived-
been,
you
I reckon
lived
I've
in
been
a
out of
back-
home for
back
5.
room though. Were you like in
Yeah,
the
well, I
house
did,
still?
to be fair, when I was like before I moved out, I was literally in a bungalow and I was doing like all my own cooking, all my own groceries. Like I was doing all of that. So, I mean, I still had the comfort of like I was paying like $100 a week.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, so I still had that.
but you're still growing as a person. You still have to
Yeah,
kind of
kind
take care
of.
of
But
yourself.
it obviously like 20x's when you move out of home and you're like, fuck, bro. Like I don't have
I have to do my laundry.
the one for me was like, oh, I went to do my laundry. I'm like, I don't have washing detergent. Or I've run out of toilet paper. You know, like, no, but these are the things that
but-
happen the first time and you
Yeah.
never even thought of them.
Correct.
Fuck, I don't even have milk. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
no, legit, I had all these moments. I'm like, fuck, this sucks, man. But then the next time you go to do it, you
No,
remember
understand.
all these things.
Yeah.
No, shit. I'll go to
that's
do, I
great,
remember
yeah.
going to do my first load of washing that I put off for ages to go to do it. I'm like, don't have any detergent. Fuck, that would have been at home.
dishwashing
That would have been nice.
yeah.
So, no, I agree. You definitely gain those things, but it can be seen as, yeah, you explained it really well, but it's not the default way of thinking. And it's very hard for people to go, yeah, I agree with JP. I'm just going to move out and spend $500 a week now on rent because he said I'm going to gain skills. Very
Yeah.
hard for someone to just decide to do that.
But I had skills to make money, so I did that knowing I could make money. I was already match betting. I
Yeah.
moved out in year 3, 2014, 2015, 16, 15. moved out in year 1.5 of my match betting. So, no, it was only a year actually. I wasn't making much money yet, but I knew I could. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to take this opportunity. Some random person that I knew in my Facebook feed put an ad up and I just moved out.
Yeah.
My parents were like, what the
Why
fuck
did
are you doing?
Move out, Nick?
Because I lived in Williamstown and all my friends were on the other side of the city. So I wanted to hang out with my friends more. So I moved back to the local area that they all hung out with.
Did you think of, like, were you like, fuck, how am I going to afford this or no?
No, I was like, I have enough money. I can do this. Get me with all my mates, please.
Yeah, nice.
So
I don't know why. Mine was definitely just money motivated, staying at home.
As in you stayed at home longer?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were always like a
Like I was just hoarding it and then
counter.
literally hoarding money and then going overseas. Like that's what I would do. And I loved it.
yeah,
Like I
Nothing
fucking
wrong with
loved
that.
it.
yeah, sounds awesome.
But he budgets like
legit.
really well.
Yeah.
Counts like every bank account. I think you do the same thing. You got bank accounts going into bank accounts like for different
yeah.
things. Yeah.
You gotta.
I just like knowing that it's there for me to do what I want with it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not worried that it's not there, but it's like I just like, I don't know, it's just something in my brain. It's like, oh, cool, I've allocated some of this money that comes into the electricity that's coming.
Yeah.
I just like doing that.
I think a lot
Steve
of people
pisses himself at it.
Steve
Steve just moves it all into one big savings thing.
No,
And if something comes in or he
fuck
wants to
that.
buy something,
That's
he
me.
just does
I've
it.
never had.
I couldn't.
that,
No, I hate
anything
that.
different.
I hate the idea of doing that. Like I'm very structured. Like I have a bank account for my car rego, and every week $17 goes into that.
Oh no! See, I don't
Oh,
do
bro,
it that.
I
I'm
live
not that
through. I'm
religious of it.
hardcore on this shit because that way when
I
my
reckon
car
it's still
rego comes
better
around,
to start. For most people, I think
all
that's
there.
better.
That's
though, than
good.
that.
If you got a spending like a problem or you not earning enough. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
sounds like motorbike.
Yeah, but it's like really
Office
close.
falling
Office
down.
motorbike.
Yeah.
No, I mean the general consensus in the Discord. This is free, right? Anyone can read this. They don't have to be. They don't have to be a
yes,
member to
correct.
be. Yeah. Well, if you go into the Discord, maybe
the
we can put it
podcast
in the
section.
description. Maybe JP can link the start of this discussion anyway. Yeah, I think the general consensus is, and look, I would expect this from our community. So take it with a grain of salt. But I think the general consensus is more towards JP's end of the spectrum in terms of like, if you simply wanted it enough, you would go and get it. And I think to an extent you kind of agree. Like, I don't think every single person on the face of the earth is presented with the same opportunity. But a lot of people that would be watching this content probably fall within the bracket of 18 to 40-year-old, probably male, just mainly.
Yeah.
And they're not like in dire straits where they have $0. So
No.
if you wanted to change your life or change where you are, I think that there is an opportunity to do that. But you have to want it, and it's not easy. And that's pretty much what this whole topic is. Gators, you know, referencing like...
Pete's one at the bottom is good. He says...
I mean, no shit, bro. These are people you've allowed.
Well, that's what I said. Like, take it with a grain of salt in terms of
there's
like, I
people
would
in there
expect
that-
this to be
Yeah.
the case.
Well, Pete said money management, budgeting, understanding the value of money, all of that is what creates the base of success or failure, in my opinion. If you go get a 50K car on finance just because that's how it works, and then you buy a slab on Friday night, and then go out with your mates and then buy another new TV because this one's a bit shit, then you deserve to kind of fall in a hole. But like, we kind of said this.
But that is like, it's funny, not funny, but it's like easy to look at that and go, that's ridiculous, man. But lots of people do that. And that is just a pure lack of education or lack of
Thinking.
like, what does getting this $50,000 car actually mean for me?
Yeah, that's thinking.
Like, what am I, how much does it cost me every week? Like, am I spending it all? Like, if I lose my job in 6 months' time,
Yeah, that's because
if
people
my mortgage
operate.
costs more, my rent goes up, can I still afford this? Like, no one thinks about that.
No, 'cause a lot of people operate on what they want.
Mm.
I want this. I want to have a sick car. I'm going to get a sick car because once I get a sick car, then I'll feel like a sick lad.
Yeah.
And then they get their car, and then it's not till like 4 months later they're like, I look so cool in this car, but I'm fucking poor.
But to like, I'm going to counter this and use JP's words. If you drive a nicer car, why does that not spur those people on to like make more money?
Because
Like, why is moving out of home?
Are you saying because I own a shit car, you're saying why don't I?
No, not you. I'm saying like why is the car scenario not forced adaptation or the buying the house you can't afford?
What do you
Why
mean?
is moving out of home forced adaptation, but these other things are not? But you could arguably gain all of the things that you would gain from renting by buying a house that you can't afford, or you disagree?
But bro, you can't buy a house if you've got 5K in savings.
No, well,
let's
for
pretend you
example,
can.
let's say you got 100K, but you spend $95,000 of it to get yourself into a mortgage into a house.
Yeah.
That you definitely don't need, but
$1 million house with 100K deposit or 1.2 or something.
But like, why is that not forced adaptation?
Well, it is still forced adaptation, but you're then got a massive opportunity cost with 5K left over. So you can't go and invest into more.
As opposed to like if you had the 100K, but then you decided to rent.
Well, you can go and spend 10K on education. You could go spend 20K on a
Which you can't do if you spend
mentorship.
it all
Not talking
on
about our mentor, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
go and learn how to, I don't know, be a salesperson for something.
Which
Learn
you can't
sales,
spend
then
if
employ.
you drop all that money on
Correct,
a deposit
you now
or on
have-
the car. Yeah,
You're
okay,
limited
makes
to your
sense.
opportunity.
Yeah, interesting.
But
You're using the resources that you have available to yourself to gain XP on the wrong thing.
Well, like, look at all the people. Angus, who came on the pod, Gator, they've all invested like 20, 30, 40K into like...
Leo,
just buying education, buying shit that's going to make them better, more skilled, more experienced, more knowledgeable. Then, with those skills, with those things, you make more money.
Yeah.
You got to buy shit. You got to buy things that are going to make you better. Don't buy liabilities. Buy assets. Buy things that are going to not actually assets like that. Rent out and
It's
create
even just the word
income.
buy though. Like
Invest.
it's just investing in you though.
Yes. Correct.
You're
Invest.
buying the course, but it's money that you're investing in you.
Yes. You are trying to.
Just like you can invest your own time, your own energy in yourself.
Well, what is buying, like, I don't know, beers investing in you? Because people say
Well-
beers. I think it can be.
I would say on some level for sure.
Yeah.
It can be.
It can be.
But, like, people do
yeah,
it,
it can
maybe
be.
too much.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you need to have a social life.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
No, yes.
do you do it every well,
That's
like,
the thing. It just comes down to what people want, bro.
mm,
It's like if what makes me happy, like what makes you happy is working and doing all that shit. If what makes me happy is spending time with my friends, then that's what I want. Yeah, I'm going to have less money at the end of the day, but I might be happier than you are. And I guess it comes down to what do you want in life?
I think if you're getting the things that you truly want, it doesn't. Like,
That's
I don't
fine.
think it matters what you invest or spend your money on. Like if you're truly like, when you wake up and you're like, I want to do this, or I don't like. You're not like, oh, I have to do this, or fuck, I want to do this, or right, if you just wake up and you're like, this is sick, then I don't think if you buy beers or fucking smoke bongs or whatever, like I don't actually think that matters. But I just think most people.
yeah, but they're not happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I
they
prefaced it by saying that they could be.
There are people that are happy with
Yeah,
that.
there are
Like
people
Joe
who-
Rogan drinks and smokes weed
No,
and
that's
stuff like that,
fine.
and I'm sure he's happy,
Yeah,
and
but
lots
he's
of
not
people can. But
Joe
like,
Rogan's a fucking millionaire. That's a terrible example.
well, I think what JP's, I don't know, I could be speaking
think
for JP.
if-
Like beers aren't bad.
No, they're
no,
not.
and that's the thing. You guys generally tend to demonize
No,
beers, hanging out with your friends on the weekend, that type of stuff.
if you're then complaining, or if you're not in a situation where you're not happy, or you want more money, like if you're sitting there going, fuck, I've got no money, fuck, I fucking hate my life.
Cost of living crisis.
Yeah, and then you're
Yeah.
going and hammering 400 a week on that stuff. Like,
yeah.
literally, like, live in your hole and complain. I don't want to hear about it.
No, that's
Stop
fair.
your beers, add your 400 a week like Dre did.
Yeah, that's fair.
100 a week.
But no, I don't think beer. I definitely don't think beers are bad. Like I still drink beers every now and then.
No, like, I understand. Like, I understand it from that perspective of if you are complaining you have no money and then you spend 50% of your paycheck on alcohol, you're a bit silly.
Yes.
Like, I completely understand.
That's, yeah. But the other thing as well, people say that they're happy as well, but then I don't think they truly are. A lot of the time, like obviously,
what is happiness?
Yeah, okay, now we're going deep, but like, it's like if you're salty at the world, if you're always complaining, then you're not happy.
Well, yeah, I would
But
agree.
people will then say that they are. Oh yeah, I'm content. It's
yeah,
like, well,
bro, content, complacency, dirtiest C words in the language.
yeah.
What? Dead set.
But no, he's right, because comfort is comfort in that too.
Oh,
Add
yeah.
a third one.
The 3 C's. Oh, yuck.
Comfort's fucked. Like that's really bad. If you're in comfort, you're in trouble.
Yeah, comfort or chilling. There's a fourth one for you.
4 C's.
But chilling's not that bad. You're allowed to chill. Comfort and complacency, especially complacency, that is going to fuck you up. Because that is when you just drift through life on autopilot and then you go, yeah, you get to 45 and you go, oh yeah, my life is all right. I haven't done anything. I look back and I'm like, didn't do anything I'm particularly proud of. I worked my job though. I didn't do anything wrong. And
I'm not broke. I'm not homeless.
yeah, I'm not broke. I'm
I've got
not
a house.
homeless.
But
yeah,
that could be okay. It's like I want to mention one of your mates. Can I mention him? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't think his name needs to get mentioned, but
No,
I know who you're talking
but
about.
He's like someone who's quite really intelligent, could be doing way better money-wise.
He used to.
Could be doing more things, but he's happy to just be someone who, I don't know, maybe you can explain the situation
Well,
better.
high 90s ATAR, got a graduate position, was dominating in an engineering firm or whatever. I don't
Like he's
know.
intelligent.
Are they called firms? I don't know what they are. Whatever. He was like fully dominating, making ridiculous amount of money for like a 23-year-old that's just graduated uni. But then like full on hated it.
Yeah, bro.
To the point where he's like, I really want to be like a year 12 math teacher.
Yeah,
like that's what I want to do. And then he went and left the 200K job or whatever it is, moves to 65, is a math teacher. And he's like, oh, and I really love doing like cooking stuff. So like on the weekends in his spare time, he, you know, cooks up steaks, or like he built his own pizza, whatever they're called, like wood fire pizza thing. Like those are the hobbies and the shit. And that's what he does. That's what he lives. Like that's, he's like, I know that I'm going to do substitute teaching. Like I'm going to work full time now, do these things on the weekend and stuff, still have money to travel, I'm going to buy a house near the beach. This is where I want to live when I grow up. My kids are going to be here. And he's like, by the time I'm like 50, I'm going to work 3 days a week. I'm going to be doing these other things, raise my kids. And then by 65, I know that, you know, retiring at 65 is not like the optimal thing for a lot of people. But he's like, this is the life that I like. This is what I want to do. This is my passion. That's going to do it. Like he would be in society considered to have taken a step back. But he's the one person that I honestly know that is like fully happy, content, and like...
It sounds like he has a plan.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
kind of cool.
Fine.
It's like kind of cool to see.
He's critically thought about it,
but he's not rinsing people on Twitter or writing like hate comments on TikTok.
He's happy.
Yeah, that's
happy
what he does.
to
He doesn't
be
even have
that
social media, I don't reckon.
Dude, that is massive. Like, he's just sticking to himself. And I think a lot of people don't know what they want. That's a dude that knows exactly what he wants. Yeah.
And he's getting it.
Yeah, and has gone, all right, I could do this, but don't really love it. Like Ash Barty, like her retiring at 25, she could have gone and won fucking 1,000 Grand Slams or some shit. 100. Yeah, she was that good.
Yeah, top of the game.
But she was just like, nah, fuck this, I don't want to do it. Yeah. And I think that's the thing is, I don't want to say privilege, but that is the privilege of being exceptional at something that you can then step back. Whereas there are a lot of people that aren't exceptional at anything. Yeah. There are a lot of just average Joes that aren't super smart, they're not super athletic, not super good looking, and are kind of stuck in mediocrity, and they just drift through life doing nothing. Yeah. They're not doing anything wrong, but they're doing nothing. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, well, I've really enjoyed that. Definitely a fresh perspective. I think you've dominated your debut, Nick. I mean, JP and I have watched a lot of our old first podcasts, and I think you've done a much better job than what we did when we started. So if you're still listening to this, which is that's a pretty long podcast, but hopefully you got something out of it, especially if you're someone that's not part of the community. We run competitions, whatnot. I'm not sure. Are we giving something away for this one?
Yeah. How much should we give away, Nick?
$1 million?
Don't have $1 million, unfortunately.
We'll work harder.
Yeah.
We will. Yeah, it's forced adaptation.
We'll cut this out.
Give away $1 million.
I'm just going to say $250 because that's stupid.
More.
500?
More.
Kilo?
Yeah.
All right. So what we'll do, like if you're still listening, kudos to you. And if you're not part of the community, cheers for engaging with our content. What we're going to do is we're going to do a competition. We do these every now and then. We're going to give $1,000, big gorilla, transferred straight into your account for the best comment. The comment has to be, the question for the comment is, what are you doing to combat the cost of living crisis? Whether you fully believe there is a crisis or not, doesn't matter. Give us a rundown of what you're doing. How are you getting ahead, or how are you making sure you're not going backwards? You're not chilling, as Nick would say. So I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments below. A gorilla to the best comment. All the best. See you next time. Well done, Nick.
Thanks, boys.